my grandfather was in the Territorial Army Band prior to the war, and as soon as the war broke out in 1939, he joined the Royal Sussex Regiment and fought up to Dunkirk, was evacuated from Dunkirk. Obviously this year's the 85th anniversary of that as well. And then after that, he then trained as a mechanical engineer, joined the REME as one of its inaugural members in 1942, went from Liverpool round to Africa, fought through Africa under Monty and the 8th Army, and eventually ended the war in Germany in 1945. I would absolutely say he was an influence in my joining the Royal Marines Band Service, as he was a musician in the army prior to the war. So absolutely he is an influence. I unfortunately never got to meet him, but I've seen many photos and I've done a lot of research into his service history, which is great. So I know all sorts of things that he got up to. His diary takes us from when he left Liverpool, and we've actually got the boarding card of his Scamel that he drove onto the ship round to Africa, and it mentions about how he got round into Africa and then the start of the war in the 8th Army, which is incredibly interesting. And then we've actually done further research as well with his regimental diaries to understand exactly where he was.
Anything that could float crossed the Channel and evacuated some 350,000 British and French troops.
So the regimental diaries, written by the commanding officer, one thing that really stood out to me was Dunkirk. In there is a line that basically says every man for himself, and it basically says, it shows you what must have been going on then, and incredible that these people came back home from it.
My father, he served in the army, in the Hampshire Regiment, 7th Battalion. He started on D-Day +6 as a replacement for casualties, unfortunately, and he continued the war all the way till the end and ended up in Berlin in 1946. So he served throughout in France, Holland, Belgium, and then of course into Germany. He was an infantryman, of course, so he was at the front all the time. A lot of what he did wasn't pleasant. He was also a company runner, a job he didn't really want. One day he got told that him and his friends, right, one of you's got to volunteer to be a company runner, and they didn't want to do that, so they said, right, we'll draw cards, whoever gets it, whoever loses becomes company runner. And so, okay, fair enough. They drew cards, my dad lost, so he had to become company runner. His friend went out on a mission that night to take a village and got mortared and killed.
My great-granddad was part of the Polish army in World War II. His name was Sapper Jan Kilkovich. At the start, he was obviously captured in a Russian camp in Sabur, I believe it is. Later on, he then got released by Russia when they first joined the war. He was involved in the Battle of Monte Cassino, earning an award there and a medal. He carried on, managed to go through all the way through World War II, and unfortunately died in 2008. I obviously got to meet him quite a few times, and he did have lots of photos of him in uniform, and his medals were out obviously on the tables and stuff all the time.